Detail as we begin the week with the biggest wave of travel restrictions since the early days of the pandemic. So what Fauci was referring to there in the United States, the president is due to reinstate the ban on travel from Europe, the UK and Brazil. That's been there since the early days of the pandemic. The Trump administration was going to lift it. Biden says no. Israel is to halt nearly all flights in and out of the country to keep the new variants out. In the United Kingdom, the Prime Minister Boris Johnson is considering mandatory 10-day hotel quarantines for incoming passengers. This is having already required quarantining for 10 days, but now to tighten it up so people can't cheat and escape. Go to Hong Kong and it's all airline flight crews may be required to quarantine for 2 weeks. That's going to take its toll on Cathay Pacific. Whilst in Australia, the bubble between Australia and New Zealand is to close after the New Zealand's reported its first COVID case of community spread in months. Axel Hefer is the CEO of the travel booking site Trivago. He joins me from Dusseldorf, Germany, via Skype. Axel, OK, look, we know the industry is being brave about this in the sense of recognising this is the case. And here we have a visitor. Go on, who have we got there? Say hello, come on. Let's say hello to... There we go. Who's this, Axel?
He wants to go to bed.
Well, wish him good evening for us. What's his name?
Victor, but he can't hear you. I'm connected via my AirPods.
All right.
Sorry about that.
Are you okay to continue? Oh no, Victor is determined.
That's okay.
That we're going to keep going. I'll let. Oh, even better. Even better. Now we're talking. All right. So Victor, no, Victor, it's Axel we're talking to. Axel, tell me, just what are you going to do? The situation is difficult. It's bad. It's getting worse. But what are you going to do about it?
I think we have to be a bit patient, to be honest. I mean, we are now in a very critical phase of the pandemic. You've got a new variant that is spreading, and we have first progress with the vaccination program. So to stay tight and be in lockdown, reduce the overall infections a lot more right now is the right thing, because the key thing is to have a good summer season. And I guess we are all looking forward to the first trip that we can do, and that's what we need to focus on.
You say you have a good summer season. Is that possible? I mean, last year was a true sort of good attempt at a summer, but it failed miserably in most cases. And I wonder, unless the booking mode has changed, so people are really booking a lot sooner.
I do think that we have the opportunity of a very, very good summer season. I mean, what we've seen in the last summer and what we've also seen in November was... Victor, guck mal, du musst leise sein. Nein, du musst mir nicht sagen, guck mal. Nein. We've seen that there is a very, very strong demand to travel, and that people do want to travel once it's possible. And I think once we have made enough progress with the new infections coming down and the travel restrictions dropping, that there will be a very, very strong demand to travel.
That's the thing. We know there's a strong demand, and the French finance minister is going to tell us next that he sees a strong rebound. I guess the issue is how you bridge the gap between now and then. How do companies stay in business? Many of your member hotels, how do they stay in business?
I mean, there's not that much you can do, to be honest. I mean, with half of Europe or even half of the world in lockdown and people staying at home, there is not much that you can do other than hoping for state support and using your cash reserves and preparing for the market when it will return. And that's exactly what we are doing as well.
As you were saying, that the booking model has changed. You're an example of that. People book later. I think that, I am old enough to remember the holiday brochures arriving in January and you leafed through them. And some people still do that. But can you rely, do you think, on a late booking model to rescue an industry?
Absolutely. I mean, what we've seen is that during lockdown that the booking windows have gotten longer, which is clear because you cannot travel that easily. But also when we got out of the lockdown, that the time to travel was significantly lower than and shorter than it has been in the past. So people are willing to book on a very, very short notice just to get a break and to get on a vacation. And I don't think that we need to see the summer bookings coming in right now to have a good summer season. They can also come in a lot later. And once it's possible, people will be willing to book no matter how much time they have left to the time to travel.
Axel, it's good to see you, sir. Give Victor a big extra hug and some ice cream from us. He's,
Will do.
In these difficult days, I can honestly tell you on behalf of the QMB team and audience, he's made our day. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Oh, and he's back.
Have a good day.
He's back. He's back for his encore. You can't keep a good actor now. Thank you. All right, we'll move on.